Well, we are just now letting people in, and so if you'll just give us a moment for everyone to, we're checking all the boarding passes for everyone ready to go to Costa Rica today, and we'll get started in just a second. Well, make sure I'm recording. Yes. Well, welcome everyone. On behalf of Dimensions in Travel, we are delighted that you are joining us today on our journey to Costa Rica, our happy hour chat with Way to Go Tours. They specialize in Central and South America, and we love to use them for creating amazing Costa Rica experiences for our clients. My name is Diana St. James, and I'm one of the owners of Dimensions in Travel, along with Jill Romano. My family fell in love with Costa Rica when we did a volunteer vacation there over winter holidays up in the Monteverde cloud forest. And we worked alongside some of the kindest people I have ever met. And we also had some great adventures, which is what I love about Costa Rica, that opportunity to do so much. Well, we have 28 advisors at Dimensions in Travel who all miss traveling, I'm sure, as much as you do. And these virtual events help us keep the spirit of travel alive, and we love sharing them with you. Before we get started, just a few reminders. We are recording this event. We record all of our events, and we will send out a link afterwards, and we'll be posting it on our website as well as our YouTube channel. You're all in listen-only mode, which means your microphones and cameras are off. This gives us a little more bandwidth for our Zoom, and it helps minimize our distractions as well. If you find in the course of our presentation today you have any questions, please put them in the chat box below. And at the end, we will be doing a Q&A. But if we can answer your question during the presentation, we will do that too. And we'll just pop a written answer in there as well. So during today's journey, we are doing a virtual trip to Costa Rica, an ecotourism heaven and an oasis of calm. We're going to be exploring the cool, verdant Monteverde cloud forest, possibly tour a coffee plantation, and ride a zip line at the foot of Arnal volcano. Be on the lookout for wildlife like sloths, scarlet macaws, toucans, and monkeys. Costa Rica is the place to go for adventure, a hot spring soak, or relaxing on the beach. We will be talking about the current health protocols for today, safety standards at some of the hotels, testing options for re-entering the United States, how that all happens. And we want you to experience Pura Vida, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, the pure life found in Costa Rica. But before we begin our journey, I would like to introduce my business partner of many years and agency co-owner, Jill Romano, who will introduce our guest. Hi, Jill.
Hi, Diana. Hello, everyone. Delighted to see you all today. It's my pleasure to introduce Jennifer Rakowski, the president of Way to Go Tours, custom design tours to Central and South America. We have had the privilege and honor to work with this wonderful on-location company for about 20 years now. We use the term on location to refer to our preferred partners in country that provide a variety of services like private transfers, tailor-made custom touring, activities, amongst many other services. They have direct contact with each of their suppliers as well and have hand-selected and know their guides, drivers personally. They work with us to select the best restaurants and villas and hotels and activities to ensure you have the vacation of your dreams. Way to Go Tours is our preferred partner when it comes to creating unique and memorable trips to Costa Rica. Jennifer has traveled to Costa Rica over 50 times, and she is here today to share her recommendations and tips on this unique destination. Jennifer, we're looking forward to our journey to Costa Rica today. Take us away.
Well, thank you very much, Jill and Diana, and thank you everyone for allowing me this opportunity to show you Costa Rica to all the future travelers here. It's a perfect time to start planning your getaway to this absolutely amazing destination. Way to Go Tours creates, as Jill was saying, itineraries that are experiences just for you. You choose the travel dates, your preferred activities, budget, style, type of accommodation, and special requests. And we create your perfect custom designed itinerary. Let me just turn the slide here. So Costa Rica is a very unique destination. It's beautiful, and I suspect you probably already know that, but want to know more about the rules to enter and exit and what different experiences are available to you. So you can go to Costa Rica right now. Understanding the importance of tourism to the local economy and the safeties of travelers and nationals alike, Costa Rica quickly mandated strong health and safety protocols throughout the country. Costa Rica has maintained low COVID-19 levels, and its citizens generally abide by these local regulations pretty strictly. So what to expect, like how to get there, and what are the entry rules that you need to know? So the first thing you would need to do is you plan and deposit your Way to Go Tours vacation with Dimensions of Travel. Then the next step is you purchase travel insurance. You can purchase the Costa Rica travel insurance or a USA approved travel insurance policy. So these options include very specific coverage that are required by Costa Rica and also cover COVID-19. So it's not just your typical one that you're getting off the internet. They have like specific coverage amounts. Then about 48 hours prior to travel, you download a very easy app called the Health Pass, and you fill it out. It's pretty simple: name, passport information, answer some health questions like, do you feel okay? Have you had a fever, etc. And then you push send, and Costa Rica shoots you back like a little QR code or even a number that you can leave on your mobile phone or print it off very easily. And you take that with you to Costa Rica, and you show any Costa Rica official, like our equivalent of the TSA. So the next step is that prior to travel, you back to the United States, you're required, according to the US government, to take a COVID test. And we arrange that for you 3 days before. Most of the clinicians are coming right to the hotels. It's super very easy. And you just take those results. So even though it may seem like there's a lot of information to know, we've put together and designed this brochure, which you can request from Dimensions and Travel, and they'll send it to you, which lists out all the steps in detail and CDC regulations to make your travel as easy as possible. So the next question is like what to expect right now. So in Costa Rica, it is definitely a law that you need to wear masks in airports, in transfer vehicles, on some tours, some shops. And as you enter and exit shops or common areas, hotel lobbies, etc., there's always either a washing station or a sanitizer just to make sure. They're doing an amazing job. They're very, very good about keeping social distancing rules with restaurants and everything like that. And since Costa Rica reopened since November, we've not had a single problem, knock on wood. So the last thing is they recommend that you stay within your travel bubble, and your travel bubble is your group of people that you're traveling with. All right, now let's get started. Okay, so here's a quickie map of Costa Rica. So basically you can see here, there are two main entry points. So there's two airports, San Jose and Liberia. And if you're on a cruise by that little town of Jaco over there, that is where Punta Caldera is. So those are the main entry points for Costa Rica for us. So typically rainforests surround Arnal, Tortuguero, Monteverde, which is a cloud forest we were talking about, and even in Manuel Antonio. But for this itinerary, we're going to focus on going to the Arnal Monteverde area and then heading over to the beaches on the Pacific coast. But there are lots of different beach opportunities and experiences that might be right for you. For example, down in the Capos Manuel Antonio area, small, more boutique hotels, a little hillier. That might be your right destination. The beauty of Costa Rica is there's tons of different options. So how we're going to start is we're going to go from San Jose and we're going to go up to that little town called La Fortuna, which is the entire Arnal area. So Arnal is surrounded by rainforest. It also has lots of local mineral hot springs, and it's truly one of my favorite spots in all of Costa Rica because you pretty much have everything but the beach, but there's a giant lake there. So there's so many experiences that you can choose from. So of course, these are some of our favorites. Doing a boat cruise down the Peñas Blancas River, that's a great way to see a lot of wildlife. There's lots of coffee plantations where you can go from growing to full cultivation. Hanging bridges, which is a great way to see the upper canopy, and a variety of different hiking tours. So those are good from whether you're doing the cloud forest or the rainforest. So I have to tell you, the first time I ever saw a sloth, so this was like 22 years ago, I was so completely excited. I was in the vehicle and I literally, the vehicle is not stopped, and I leaped out to try to take a picture of the sloth. Of course, I almost like fell on the guide. And I don't necessarily recommend that, but that sort of like enthusiasm of seeing, you know, these types of animals, not in a zoo, but in their natural habitat is quite amazing. And the sloth is so completely adorable. But these are some examples of the varied wildlife that you can see. So some people want to do some high energy stuff. What's really popular is you can do a high energy tour plus maybe a wildlife tour. You can mix it up, but some folks just want to do all the high energy stuff like rafting, zip line, kayaking, biking, more like strenuous hikes, certainly ATV, and one of our favorites there, which is called canyoning, where you're actually going down a waterfall. The funny thing is that we've had anywhere from 5-year-olds do that to seniors do that. It's extremely safe and controlled, but so much fun. So you also have the options in Costa Rica in this area to do little local villages. You can do and enjoy like a craft cocktail. There's lots of beautiful infinity pools. And also, as you can see in the upper right-hand corner there, you can do private chef-inspired dining in an outdoor bungalow. So there is a wide variety in all levels. And certainly one of our favorites is the hot springs in Arnal. Quite a few different hotels have hot springs. There's some pretty famous ones like Tabicon and the Springs. But a lot of times, even if you're not staying at that hotel, you can go to their hot springs, which is great. Of course, you have yoga and various spa treatments. And a lot of the spa treatments involve a lot of the natural products that come from Costa Rica, like coffee and aloe and things like that. So there's a ton of great resorts in Arnal, and we decided just to feature a couple of them. The first one I want to talk about is Niara. So this place is spectacular. As you can see, they've got all these like hanging, like beautiful bridge systems and pathways surrounded by the rainforest. They have all kinds of really neat accommodations, like an individual casita or a villa, or even what they call the new luxury deluxe tents. And you can even put 2 of these together. They connect by a little roadway, like a little pathway, and you can put like 2 families in them. These experiences are certainly some of the best. in Arnal. Another great option is the Tabicon. The Tabicon is one of the oldest resorts in the area, but it's been renovated and is just gorgeous. They have one of the most complex hot spring sites, including varied hot spring mineral pools that are just for adults only. One of the benefits here too is when you book Tabicon with Dimensions in Travel, they get an extra complimentary amenity that'll be added onto your itinerary. So these are some fantastic benefits that you can take advantage of. They have a wide range of rooms, from regular rooms to suites that'll hold families. So now we're going to get into our private transfer, which is always a fun way to travel because you can see things like as you go, and your private driver will stop and do a local lunch if you want. And the food, the local lunches and the local dining is great there. I would absolutely recommend it. But you can also travel by shared van. There are some domestic flight options. And certainly if you're adventurous, you can do a rental car. So now we're going to head over towards the Pacific side of the country in the Liberia area to the Guanacaste beaches. So Guanacaste is the entire, let's say, Pacific side of Costa Rica. You've got resorts that start at the top with Papagayo and go all the way down the peninsula. You'll see a variety of different color sands. You will see, like a light beige sand all the way to darker and even black sands. You're not going to find white colored sands like you would in Turks and Caicos or Mexico and Costa Rica, because most of the sandy beaches were created by previous volcanoes. It's like the land of volcanoes. So your expectation should be that it's a little darker, but one of the things that is really neat is you've got entire forest lined beaches and beautiful trees coming in, and you'll see nature on the beaches. Sometimes you even see monkeys on the beach. So the tours in this area are interesting. So there are some of the tours that we already experienced in Arnal that you can do in Guanacaste, but the difference is they're longer to get to. So if you wanted to do Arnal volcano, for example, from the beach and only did a beach stay, it would take about 3.5 hours to get there. So this is one of the reasons we do recommend doing the split stay. So you can have some of the nights in the interior rainforest and do the rest of the beach-like tours and the beach-like experiences from the Pacific side. Some of the tours that I would definitely recommend, in the area, excuse me, let me just fix that, is you have pottery tours, and you have surfing options. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with the computer. You have surfing options. You have, let's see here, catamaran cruises, snorkeling, a lot of really wonderful different options, in that particular area. Let me just see if I can fix this for 1 sec. Try again. Sorry, guys.
No worries, Jennifer.
You know what? It's online 365. Sorry.
That's okay. Don't worry.
All right. So it's somehow stalled out. I will just try to reload it. Sorry, I apologize. I don't know. All right. So let me go back to where we were.
This is
all
how
right.
you know.
So the next thing is, let's see here. Let me go over here. Pardon me. All right, there we go. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so the great options, for a second. There's also some great other tours like sports fishing, including sailfish and marlin, horseback riding on the beach also. So some of the options for staying, like villas, are extremely popular right now. A lot of multi-generational families who have been apart from each other for the past year are renting villas so they can stay within their travel bubble. And one of our most popular that we offer is Las Catalinas, because it's kind of like a little local village. A lot of the villas will have pools. There's even like on-site restaurant options. It's a no driving little quote unquote town, so everybody's walking or taking our bikes. Some other options are certainly all inclusive options. For example, for adults only, we love Secrets. It has a super like ultimate luxury all-inclusive plan. It's right there on a very, very beautiful bay. And Secrets and Las Catalinas share a unique similarity in the fact that all the beaches are public in Costa Rica, but because they're on this bay and they own the land around it, it almost becomes a private beach. Westin Playa Conchal is always a popular hotel all-inclusive plan with families. They have big, large suites, which are very, very comfortable. And this hotel has some of the lightest sand in the entire country. It's called Westin Playa Conchal because it's called Shell Beach as it translates. And it does has, if there's close to white sands, the Westin definitely has it. Next door to the Westin is the W, and you can even go over to the W for some meal options too, which gives you a great variety. Next we have, if you're looking for something more like a boutique, small, intimate style property, Capitan Suizo in Tamarindo is a great option. It's right there on the beach in Tamarindo. And one of the benefits is you can just walk to the little town down the beach where there's shopping and some spa things and some various activities. Tamarindo also has a mangrove right there that you can do boat tours to. So there are benefits of staying in a small town. The next option is Nantipa. This is more on the newer side of the small boutique hotels. Quite lovely. Some have private plunge pools. What's great is they have the little town of Santa Teresa. This town, tons of celebrities trying to check out and not be noticed have been seen in this town a lot. Really sort of, it's at the bottom of the peninsula, and it is just a little delight. Definitely wavier here. It's like more for surf lovers, or if you like to body surf and things like that. So there is a saying, as Diana said, that is said often by the locals. The locals are known as either Tico or Ticas, and this is a very positive, wonderful word for the nationals there. They'll often say to you, like, instead of hello or goodbye, you know, they'll say pura vida, pura vida. You'll hear this all the time. And how it translates is pure life. And what this means is it has to do with their culture. It has to do with their view of happiness. Costa Rica is one of the top, within the top 5 blue zones within the entire world where people live over 100. It also is a leader in sustainability practices. And that goes into not only their general economic, you know, as far as how they use their resources, but also into tourism. Lots of hotels will take enormous steps to be a sustainable property. So there are so many wonderful pieces about Costa Rica. People are extremely friendly, service oriented, very, very kind. If you want to sit and chat, you know, with your server for 20 minutes, most likely they will do it with you. They're so lovely, absolutely lovely. And this is just what's going to make your journey just even better. Well, that's the general synopsis of Costa Rica. I would love to hear any questions too. Jill and Diana, I take it to you and let me know if there are any questions.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jennifer. That was a great look at a fabulous country. Your expertise just shines through, and you always take such good care of our clients as well.
Thank you.
So Jill, do we have any questions?
I don't see any questions in the chat box right now. We had a couple that were presented to us earlier on, so I'll ask that. And this is a common one everybody asks on our calls is, what are the seasons like? What is the best time? So if we talk about Arnal and Guanacaste, what is your recommendation there?
So the seasons are generally divided as such. High season is typically from the middle part of December through April. And it's called high season because it is the least amount of rains, the absolute least amount of rains that could take place. I mean, it is a rainforest, is typically March, April, and February, very popular times to go. Then the other season, which they call festive, so that takes place, over the holiday season, and that would be your peak season. And then what they call the green season in Costa Rica takes place between May and October, with like November being shoulder. Now, all this being said, tons of people travel in green season, and this is what you should expect. It'll rain probably every day. But what does that mean? It'll rain for 30 minutes. It'll rain for maybe an hour. You take a nap. You have lunch. It doesn't really stop people from going to doing tours or experiencing Costa Rica, and you're able to take advantage of some better rates. You can get some great specials that a lot of the hotels put out at that time of year, and it's gorgeous. Everything's in bloom. The animals are active. That's when I go on my vacation. So that's what I would recommend.
Fantastic. Thank you. Could you give us a little bit of insight? We talked about just sort of 2 locations this time, around about a week. If someone had 2 weeks, what sort of itinerary would you, and I know there's a lot of variations on that based on activity level and things, but just, in general, sort of that classic 2-week trip.
Absolutely. So you would certainly have the option. You could even do, in a 2-week trip, you could do 4 stops comfortably even. If you wanted to spend a little bit longer time at a beach location, you could do 3. So I would definitely include Arnal. If it is turtle season and you love to see turtles and you want to see the natural habitat, and the turtle season is generally in the latter part of the summer, so like August, September, October, you can add Tortuguero to the mix for maybe 1 or 2 nights. Monteverde is the cloud forest, and what that means is like basically a rainforest up high. So the temperatures are cooler. You'll see a whole different level of species of animals. You'll see a lot more howler monkeys and the beautiful, what they call the resplendent quetzal with the long, gorgeous green and red feathers. And being up in the mountains, literally the clouds are like coming in right over you as you're hiking. It's amazing. I would definitely think Arnal, Monteverde. You could go down to Manuel Antonio, and I would describe Manuel Antonio as where the rainforest meets the sea. It's like a mountainous area, and so you get that dense rainforest backing up to the ocean. So even there's additional species of animals that are indigenous to that area that aren't maybe necessarily in the other areas. And then I would include Guanacaste too. So a 4-stop option, that would be perfect.
Wonderful. And when is turtle season?
Turtle season generally runs in the latter part. You may be able to see them like starting May, but really the heart of it is like August, September, and October. And so what you do is you go to one of these, like they're super eco lodges, and when it, you know, gets late enough, you go out with your guide, no flashlight. He's got this like little red pen light, and you go up and down the beach, and you can see actually the female turtles nesting. It's quite amazing. Like at first you're like, I'm walking and I'm walking, but then all of a sudden you see this gigantic turtle laying her eggs, and you just, it's amazing. It's
Wonderful.
amazing.
We hear a lot about the sustainability factor, and a lot of people have asked us over the years to maybe, especially when they're traveling with kids, is to have sort of a day of giving back.
Yes.
Are there projects and things that you can recommend where, you know, they're helping out in a local village or a particular project?
It is the volunteerism like day tour has gotten so popular over the past 5 years. And it could be a little to a lot. You really can choose. And that's the beauty of, you know, customizing a trip that's great for your family. So some will do things as simple as pack a couple of extra backpacks filled with great stuff and, you know, hand it to one of the hotel that does backpacks or packs for a purpose. It might be a little bit more involved where you want to actually go help one of the reserves restore the walkways and the pathways. We've done things where the families wanted to meet, you know, kids in orphanages, and they had collected goods. We've had people do like medical related things. Really, all you have to do is share what your thoughts and what you wanted to do with your DIT advisor, and then we'll design something that is perfect for you. But there are definitely lots of incredible opportunities, and it's always received incredibly well, and everyone feels good because it's a good thing to do.
Wonderful. Thank you. I think that's all the questions that we have at this time. I'll see if we'll just wait here for just a second and see if we have a couple more that come up. What is the best place for whale watching?
Very good question. It actually takes place all along the Pacific coast. The whales like basically start at the bottom of Costa Rica and go all the way up, you know, as they're cruising up north for, you know, I think it's, I can't remember which way it is for birthing season or spawning season. But you can see them right off the coast. Like if you do a catamaran tour, September and October, especially in Manuel Antonio, when I did it, I mean, we were looking at dolphins, and the next thing it was a humpback and her little baby was right there. I mean, we're talking maybe like, I don't know, like a football field off the coast. It was so close. So that's the best time of year, September and October. You can see them up the coast, but Manuel Antonio is probably the best.
Okay. And any other locations? I did have one other question here. If you aren't going to Guanacaste, is there somewhere other than Manuel Antonio that you would recommend? Yes.
So Jaco is another option that's kind of right there in the middle. That one is the closest to San Jose, only about 45 minutes. They've got that's kind of like a little surfing town, but they also have a great, nice Marriott there and some condos and things if you're looking for more of a traditional vacation. If you're looking for something more unique and boutique, on the bottom of Costa Rica is Osa Peninsula. Osa is like some of the last virgin rainforest in all of Central America. You pretty much are at your eco lodge, and there are lots of different levels from luxury down to, you know, moderate levels. And you're completely engrossed in the rainforest. So there's no like going out to dinner or anything like that. But, you know, your friends for the evening are toucans and monkeys and things like that. Those are probably the primary beach locations. On the Caribbean coast, It's so funny in September and October, in the Puerto Viejo area, when there is a little bit of heavier rains in the rest of the country, it's dry over there. So we see a lot of people in September and October go over to the Caribbean side. It's kind of has a bohemian sort of feel.
And that was exactly the next question that had come up, was what about the Caribbean side? So thank you for
Yeah,
including that
the
as
Caribbean
well.
side is less developed than the Pacific side is, but there are some really unique properties. Obviously, Tortuguero is up on top, but you don't stay in Tortuguero more than like 1 or 2 nights. So closer to the Panamanian border is my favorite, which is Puerto Viejo. I went there with my daughter. We had a fabulous time. But all of the hotels are really, really small. And so you're not going to get any all-inclusives or bigger properties or name brands and things like that. But there are some really wonderful small properties over there. And the snorkeling is different. They have like a jaguar reserve there where they rescue cats and animals, and you can like go and volunteer and help out with that. They also have some indigenous villages over on that side of the country where you can see like actual shaman like making chocolate and cocoa and medical herbs and all kinds of stuff over there. So it does have a unique flavor to it. But it's, you know, it's right for certain people.
Sure. And probably for someone maybe on their second trip or
yeah, exactly.
Good point.
Exactly.
And I don't know how long it will take the rest of us to catch up to your 50 trips, but I think you've got some engaged listeners ready to go.
That sounds great.
Thank you so much. It was delightful to have you here today. Thank you for sharing with us, Diana.
Yes, thank you, Jennifer, for your time and expertise. And thank you to everyone who joined us today and maybe listening to us a little bit later down the road. Stay safe, stay optimistic that we will be traveling again soon, although Costa Rica is waiting for you now.
Absolutely.
Everyone have a good afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.